Once upon a time, in a small village nestled between rolling green hills, there lived a young man named Elias. Elias was curious about the world and always sought ways to improve himself. But like many of us, he struggled with habits. Some days he would wake up early, exercise, and read books. Other days he would sleep late, eat too much, and waste hours doing nothing. He wondered why some habits stuck while others faded away. One evening, while sitting under an old oak tree, he remembered hearing about a wise hermit who lived in the mountains. People said this hermit knew the secrets of human behavior. Determined to find answers, Elias packed his bag and set off on a journey. The path to the mountains was long and difficult. Elias walked for days, crossing rivers and climbing steep slopes. Finally, he reached a small cave where the hermit, an old man with a long white beard, sat in deep thought. Elias bowed respectfully and asked, "Wise one, I want to understand habits. Why is it so hard to keep good ones and so easy to fall into bad ones?" The hermit smiled and motioned for Elias to sit. "Habits," he said. "They are like rivers. At first they are small and weak, but with time and flow, they carve deep paths into the earth. To understand habits, you must understand how they form." The hermit began his lesson. Every habit starts with a cue, something that triggers the behavior. It could be a time of day, a place, or even a feeling. Then comes the routine, the action itself. Finally, there is the reward, the reason your brain wants to repeat the habit. For example, when you feel stressed, you might eat sweets. The cue is stress, the routine is eating, and the reward is the temporary comfort. Your brain remembers this pattern and urges you to repeat. Elias nodded. "So if I want to change a habit, I must change one of these parts." "Exactly," said the hermit. "But there is more. Willpower alone is not enough. Your environment shapes your habits more than you realize. If you want to read more, place a book on your pillow so you see it before bed. If you want to eat less junk food, don't keep it in your house. Make good habits easy and bad habits hard. That is the secret." Elias thought about his own life. His room was cluttered, making it hard to focus. His phone was always within reach, tempting him to scroll endlessly. "I need to change my surroundings," he realized. The hermit continued, "Another key is repetition. A habit does not form overnight. Studies say it takes an average of 66 days, but it can be more or less depending on the person. The important thing is consistency. Even small actions, repeated daily, grow into strong habits. If you want to exercise..." Elias remembered how he had once tried to run for an hour every morning but gave up after a week. "I set the bar too high," he admitted. "Patience is vital," the hermit said. And so is identity. Many people focus on what they want to do, but the strongest habits come from who they believe they are. Instead of saying, "I want to read more," say, "I am a reader." Instead of, "I want to be healthy," say, "I am a healthy person." Your actions will follow your belief. Elias had never thought of it that way. He had always seen himself as someone who struggled with discipline. What if he started seeing himself differently? The hermit then shared a story. There was once a sculptor who carved a beautiful statue from a block of marble. A visitor asked, "How did you create such a masterpiece?" The sculptor replied, "I simply removed everything that was not the statue." Habits are like that. You are not adding something new to your life. You are chipping away the distractions and bad patterns to reveal the best version of yourself. Elias spent the next few days with the hermit, learning more about the science of habits. He learned about temptation bundling, pairing something you enjoy with something you need to do. For example, listening to your favorite podcast only while exercising. He learned about accountability, telling a friend your goals so you feel responsible to follow through. Most importantly, he learned that failure is part of the process. Missing a day does not ruin everything, the hermit said. What matters is getting back on track. When it was time to leave, Elias thanked the hermit for his wisdom. As he walked back to his village, he felt a new sense of clarity. He knew the road ahead would not be easy, but he now had the tools to shape his habits. He started small, tidying his room, placing his phone far from his bed, reading just 10 pages a day. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly, his actions became automatic. Waking up early felt natural. Choosing healthy food was no longer a struggle. One evening, as Elias sat under the same oak tree where his journey had begun, a neighbor approached him. "Elias, you've changed so much. How did you do it?" Elias smiled. "I learned that habits are not about willpower. They are about systems, environment, and identity. And most of all, they are about patience." The neighbor looked puzzled. "But how do you stay motivated?" Elias replied, "Motivation fades. Discipline is what carries you forward. And discipline is built one small step at a time." Years later, Elias became known in his village as a man of great wisdom. People came to him for advice on habits and self-improvement. He always told them the same thing: "You are the sculptor of your life. Every choice, every repetition shapes who you become. Start small, be consistent, and trust the process." And so, the lessons of the hermit lived on, passed from one person to another, shaping lives one habit at a time. The end.